Hello Internet, James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing real-time strategy game Sudden Strike 4. Game features a number of campaigns in addition to the tutorial, which are actually pretty well designed. Each campaign has 7 missions in it for the Germans, Soviets, and Allies. There's also, probably because of the movie coming out, 2 mission campaigns involving Dunkirk for both the Germans and the Allies. The missions are pretty well designed. They have a variety for the strategy genre as much as you can. You're still attacking and defending thing, but different settings, different amounts of units that you get. You can also pick a leader doctrine, which I'll show off in the skirmish mode, which gives different abilities for infantry, armored, and support units. And in addition to that, the campaign missions are pretty fairly balanced if you can keep up with the pace of the game. There's also skirmish mode, which is what I'm going to show off, and online multiplayer if you want to do that. So I'm going to load the skirmish mode. Disappointingly, there's only 4 skirmish maps plus 1 for DLC that I got in my review copy. And the same maps are available online. Supports up to 4v4, so we'll pick this map right here. As I mentioned with the campaigns, you have different doctrines which give you different abilities based on which doctrine you pick. I'll pick the Germans, and we'll do armored, because you end up starting with, number tanks anyway. And I'm going to do a 3v3. So we'll do armored and 2... we'll do 2 armored and an infantry. And then we'll do the computer over here, and we'll do it against the Russians. So we'll do the same thing, 2 armored and 1 infantry. There we go. So the thing is to capture all the flags. Each of the maps has an odd number of flags, which is pretty good because it prevents as much as it can stalemating in the middle of the game. And then if you capture these train stations, the houses, then you can call in reinforcements. Now, the game is extremely fast-paced. I'm going to have to probably pause a lot while I'm talking about the game, but that's okay, because otherwise I'm just going to get steamrolled. Alright, so we're going to pause this pretty much immediately when this comes up. Okay. Now, first thing into the game, you're given 0 time to actually organize your units. So there's no countdown timer or anything like that, and they're all kind of mixed together in this, whatever amalgamation is. So what I'd like to do is get my tanks together. So tank. Put that in a group. And then 2 anti-air guns. That's interesting. And probably 4 infantry units. Alright, well, I'm going to unpause and I'm going to just move these guys. Alright. Now, I got to kind of figure out what the other people are going to do. Basically, you need to capture these locations here, and once you do that, then you'll get points which you can use to call in units from the train stations. So I actually don't really know what the AI is going to do, but I can probably guess in about 3 seconds here based on which way they head. Yeah, they're sending a couple up there and a couple to the flag, so I'm going to go straight down the main way, I think. And we'll kind of park these anti-air guys over here. And then I got to figure out about my infantry. Alright, so here's my infantry units. And we're going to bring them to the center as well. So they look like they're capping that. You don't have to cap with infantry or anything. You can just be whatever you want. There. So interface is pretty typical. If you hold down the right mouse button, you can scroll in and out to change the formation a little bit. It'll be more interesting the larger the troops are that you have under your command. Units will, and this is part of the problem, and you can actually probably see it right here while we're rolling out. There's big pathfinding issues here. Units run into each other all the time, which slows everybody down. Units will auto-repair and surrounding units, but sometimes they'll auto-attack and sometimes they won't. So you really have to kind of babysit everybody, which is tough. Alright, well here they come. So they'll also, if you give a move order is not an attack order, so they will not attack units if they're moving until you actually tell them to do so. So whenever you have this little triangle with the exclamation point, that means that unit needs to be repaired. And they have the engine, so they won't be able to, they're going to get destroyed anyway. So again, I'm basically losing this because all these units are getting stuck on each other and they're not up at the front against the Germans here. So you guys cap this junk. Probably my favorite aspect of the game are the houses here. Let me pull a couple people in the houses and show off what's going on here while we cap this. Jeez. Did I lose like all my units? Yeah, I have 2 left. Attack move. Alright, so where's that house? Okay, so what this has is it has a certain number of windows which are actually displayed on the map. You can actually see them in the game. That units can fire out of, which is pretty cool. I think that's, first game I can remember that's basically done that. You guys need to hide. Because here they come. So I think that's pretty neat. That's a feature in there. And some houses will have more room than they have windows, so you'll have, but they'll come up and replace units that go down. Okay, so I have lost all my tanks. And my infantry's sitting here, and then my anti-air units are just kind of hiding because they won't really push anybody else. So, I need to call on some units, so we'll call in some tanks here. We'll just do those. Because you can also call in bombers and stuff like that. It takes some time. Actually, probably will do some bombers right here. Takes some time to call stuff in. Because you got to wait for all the other people that called in their units to get in there before you. Which is quite annoying. And these guys are going to move out of my way, too. And the skirmish games basically involve a whole lot of heavy fighting in the first minute of the match when everybody clashes in the middle, and then you can only call in 2 or 3 units every couple minutes. So after that it ends up being clashes between, and they missed everybody, between 2 or 3 units at a time, and basically whoever survives that first initial clash is going to win the game. So right now I can't possibly and they've almost captured all the flags anyway, so I'm about to lose. I can't possibly beat them because we lost all the flags. So the game's over right now, by the way. So they've almost all capped all the flags anyway. So, I get these 2 units, and I'm going to tell them to attack move up here, because otherwise we're going to lose. But the game's over. There it is. So that was it. That's the entire game. Pretty enjoyable, huh? I'll do another one. I'll do a one-on-one. But still, kind of ridiculous. And that's it. Basically, whoever wins the first one, the first clash wins. So since all of my units basically got stuck on each other and weren't all at the front at the same time, I lost because they had more stuff. So we'll go against the Germans this time. We'll do this countryside map. I would just do a one-on-one, which will be more tedious, I would say. Because I'll need to split my troops up, try to cap stuff. Alright. Again, no time to plan. I'm not expecting to really win this one either. So, send you here. And we're going to send you, cap this. Again, these maps do not scale for the number of players that you have, so. Actually, you might take those infantry and do them up here. I might take the tanks and go the other way. To this. You cap that. The rest of you guys go over here. Oh, I got one guy I forgot about. You can go here. You know, you do have alternative commands and stuff for throwing grenades, opening the hatch, unloading stuff. So there is some, there are some options there. All right, we'll see how this goes. So very, oh, there we go. Here's the battle, which I'm gonna lose, which means I basically have lost this game. Here come the tanks, and I have no anti-tanks up here. Yep, I've lost, so the game's over. Already. I mean, it is called Sudden Strike, but still. Yeah, they're dead. These guys are dead.
Any orders, sir? Come on.
Put those guys in bunkers, not that it's gonna matter.
Yes.
Alright, well, I know they have troops down here. I gotta get, and I can't, that's right. They have some points that are inaccessible for tanks, so I can't even bring tanks over there. So, that's cool. I have one flag, so they're just going to overrun me. And they're dead now anyway. And then that'll be basically it. So another like 5-minute skirmish match. Alright, well, let's take the infantry over there at least. Might as well do some, I guess. Anti-air gun. Well, guess we'll go attack that. Not much else you can do. I mean, I guess I can wait, call in another tank or something. Medium tank in a little bit. Yeah, they're about to take them out. Well, as soon as I lose that flag, it's over, so it doesn't even really matter.
Ready, sir.
So, again, if whoever wins the first clash wins, because you can't bring in troops fast enough to replace what you've lost at the beginning of the match.
Reporting for duty. Yes, sir.
What was that? Oh, yeah, that's the anti-air gun. Yeah, I don't even think they have anything called in, so. Yeah. As soon as I say that, they bring in a scout plane.
Waiting orders. Hurry up.
Yeah, so they're about to cap this anyway. They have superior numbers advantage.
Yes.
So, I mean, basically, I split my troops up to, there we go. I split my troops up so that I could cap more points, but I ended up, they just sent the, I guessed wrong, basically, and because of that, then I lost. And that's it. That, I mean, that's Sudden Strike 4. The campaign missions are better. You do run into, you know, some unfair things. I think I'm going to try to show off a little bit of the Dunkirk one. Yeah, I don't think I've done this one. I did the American one. So you can pick your doctrine before it. So I'm going to do, but again, I don't really know what type of units I'm going to have, so I'm going to pick armored, which means I'll get infantry troops. So, you know, it gives you different, you know, objectives to complete an order. And you got to kind of go around, you know, it's usually attack this location, defend this location. You get set number of units. Again, it retains the fast pace of the skirmish mode. So I'm going to wait for this. Like how all the generals sound the same. Whether they're German, Soviet, or Allied. So, okay. Alright. So they actually do organize stuff for you, which is kind of nice. So let's do an attack move there. So those guys there, so that goes there, and then we'll kind of keep the repair people in the back. You can see that the little eyeballs means that infantry get cover and hide in the bushes, which is pretty interesting, I thought. There's a truck thing up there. So, I mean, I live off of attack move, because otherwise if you don't, they'll move, and sometimes they'll engage, but sometimes they won't. It's very inconsistent about what they do. Sometimes they'll just run past units. And then a lot of these, because you have these, the infantry units don't space themselves out at all. And I mean, you can, because they're different, they're all treated as individual units, and you could try to spread them out, but like one good, well-placed artillery strike will just take out your entire infantry. And in this mode, you can't call in your own reinforcements, you know, without it being scripted by the developer. So. Units will also not particularly attack the things that they are best suited against. So again, you have to kind of micro it a little bit. You guys get in the field. And you'll have other units that you can't control take part in the battle too. There's the formation thing. Something up there. Yeah, like he won't stop and engage unless you tell him to. Alright, I gotta bring my repair people up. Because they're basically all dead.
Excellent work. We managed to close the encirclement. Now approach the city with caution and crush the enemy's next line of defense. Reinforcements arrive. More air support is available.
Yeah, you can call in stuff off the map, just like in the skirmish mode if you have enough points for it. So I mean, that's basically it. You know, it's a bunch of pushing, you know, mostly attacking, pushing enemy locations with scripted stuff, which is pretty typical for RTS games. But unlike some other things, it seems to be a little bit better balanced here than in some other titles. So there you go. That's a look at Sunstrike 4. Overall, I think that while the campaign missions are actually pretty well designed, the skirmish mode is very disappointing because of, you know, it only has 4 maps. It also is a game of who wins in the first minute because the game moves so fast and reinforcements come in so slowly and the units are very expensive. You know, anything beyond the initial engagement becomes, you know, whatever the one team has left versus the other team has left, or like, you know, a 2-on-2 unit battle. And online plays the same way. So in that sense, it's not very compelling once you get beyond the campaign. And then the campaign, obviously, the enjoyment of that depends on whether you like, attacking heavily entrenched enemy positions. And while there is a difficulty between easy and normal, again, you're also, like with most of the RTS campaigns and other games, you're at the mercy of how many units the developers put in. Are you able to counteract those? And I will say that for this particular game, they actually seem to do a pretty good job of it, figuring out how many units to put in your way on your way towards the objective locations. Game requires a lot of micromanagement because of the pathfinding. Units will run into each other all the time and get stuck, which means that they'll all string out and not engage enemies as one cohesive force. You can change their formation and facing by holding down the right mouse button, but it doesn't really matter if they're not all together and they're all gonna jumble up. Confusingly, sometimes they'll auto attack and sometimes they won't. They will, it seems like, auto repair, auto medic on their own. But you seem to have to manage attack, move, and attack and all that stuff, which in a game that moves this quickly and sometimes you have units spread out over a large map becomes almost impossible to do. I do like some of the little mechanics things that the game has. You have the cover and vegetation for the infantry units. I really like the use of houses, where it has a set number of windows which you can actually see on the map that each of the units can fire out of. It's a pretty cool feature. You also have critical damage that can be repaired by repair things, which is different from the health of the vehicle, which is another little interesting wrinkle in the game. But because of the lack of features in the skirmish mode and the pathfinding issues, which are really not helped out by the pace of the game, it makes the game more difficult to recommend than honestly it should be based on the features. That's all I have for today. Until next time, bye now.